I want to say something, and it's going to sound completely opposite of what people feel. Over the course of the last 10 years, 15 years, almost everybody who sits on a stage like this would tell you it is vital that your children learn computer science. Everybody should learn how to program. And in fact, it's almost exactly the opposite.
Welcome back to the DevLife Unplugged podcast. And in today's episode, as you have seen in the title, we will be discussing whether learning how to code is a waste of time or not. A few months back, if I'm not mistaken, the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, made a public statement that learning how to code is a thing of the past and there is no need for individuals to learn how to code over kids or parents to let their kids learn computer science or learn how to code in essence. The full clip is here.
I want to say something, and it's going to sound completely opposite of what people feel. Over the course of the last 10 years, 15 years, almost everybody who sits on a stage like this would tell you it is vital that your children learn computer science. Everybody should learn how to program. And in fact, it's almost exactly the opposite. It is our job to create computing technology such that nobody has to program and that the programming language is human. Everybody in the world is now a programmer. This is the miracle of artificial intelligence. The countries, the people that understand how to solve a domain problem in digital biology or in education of young people or in manufacturing or in farming, those people who understand domain expertise now can utilize technology that is readily available to you. You now have a computer that will do what you tell it to do. It is vital that we upskill everyone, and the upskilling process.
Okay, now after watching that, you probably also thinking the same thing, right? Like, what's the use of learning how to code when we could just tell a computer to do something and then it does exactly what we want it to do, right? But I think the one thing he looked past and one thing that everyone is looking past is that AI is a tool, right? It's supposed to speed up your workflow. It's not supposed to overtake a certain course or program, right? That's how I think that's the reason why it was developed in the first place. Because look at it this way, right? When when AI first got released, it it brought a ton of attention to itself, right? We and I think AI has always been around. If I think about it, it's always been around. Like there's people that's been building robots way before AI or ChatGPT as we know it was even a thing, right? People who did robotics used AI. That was actually what the main term in reference to artificial intelligence back then was mostly about. But now that we have a system in place that can actually code for you and teach you something, it's it brings a whole new meaning to it, which is it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. But then again, if you look at it, well, from my point of view, it's not. And here's why. AI is a tool, like I said, right? And this tool is it's good and bad at the same time, but it doesn't take away the main core of learning how to code. Because if you look at it, right, and let's all be open minded about this thing, right? Learning how to code is cool, right? Imagine telling someone that, hey, I built this, right? I built my first website, or I built my first game. That's something cool, right? Maybe maybe a toddler, okay, not a toddler, but um someone in the fifth grade, a kid in the fifth grade, right? They're learning how to code, and the excitement they get knowing that they're doing something that will actually be useful in the near future, right? They they learn how to build something, they learn how to code. The knowledge that they are getting from that is not as, okay, let me not say not as important, but then it's not on the same level as the excitement and satisfaction that they get, right? Because look, they're still young, they're still full of energy, wanting to explore things, try new things out. And what better way than to code, right? What better way to code? What other possible way could they be to open their minds to take? And it's often these little things you see on YouTube. People tell you learning how to code is not all that. It's not a good career choice, blah blah blah. It's a waste of time. It's hectic. It's stressful. Yes, it's stressful. But then again, is the money stressful? Let's let's think about that, right? We all know anyone that codes, or most programmers earn a certain amount of money, right? They're high paying jobs, right? So you have medicine, and then there's IT and tech, right? That field alone is the highest paying job. And people who do medicine wouldn't be complaining about how stressful the job is if they weren't being paid a good amount. And that's the same for tech and IT. The pay is good, but then people are just lazy, right? And that's what they want to drift everyone away from, because the more competition. Yes, now that I think about it, and now that I actually look deep into it, people will tell you coding is a waste of time just to lessen the competition. Why didn't I think of this? Okay. Right? Because the competition is a lot, right? The competition is really a lot. Everyone is fighting for the same position. So, obviously, what better way to tell you to not go into coding or lessen the competition and make it more possible for that certain individual to get the job they want, than to tell you that, hey, don't go into coding. It's not worth it. It's not a waste. It's not a good thing to do, right? It's not a good thing to do. It's stressful. It's not worth it. AI is gonna take over either way, right? They play mind games with you, right? I was speaking to Lionel the other day, and he mentioned something about these YouTubers, right, that create tech content, right? And what they do is they don't really show you what a day in the life of a programmer really is. Everything is so aesthetic. There's always this aesthetic vibe to it. It's not really authentic, and it's not realistic. They're not being transparent enough with someone that wants to get into the field of learning how to code, or learning how to build a website, or what the actual life of a software engineer, programmer, app developer, web developer really is, right? That's what they do nowadays. And that content is, sure, it's passing the right message, right? But not to a certain extent, because they doing it for the likes, they doing it for the views, right? They doing it for that. But then when you hear people telling you to not try something new, you start to wonder why. And I actually just realized, like, I don't know, maybe I'm being too optimistic about this thing. Maybe I'm looking way too deep into it. But yeah, I think that's really why they will tell you not to go into coding, not to learn how to code. It's really to lessen the the well, why am I stuttering? But yeah, it's really to even out the odds, you know? It's really that simple. And yeah, I guess that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. There will be a new video after this, hopefully, drop. So till then, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, and yeah, till then.